feel like most artists agree the hardest part is starting. Sometimes you're lucky and idea will just kind of like flick on in your mind, and I always forget if I don't make some kind of note of it. When an idea is finished, it's like hard to remember where it even started, and it feels like it's just died and been reborn and reinvented over and over again. That's why whenever I get an opportunity to just work on something just for me, I always want to approach it differently and try something kind of out of my comfort zone. And with this, I wanted to push that idea of just working off instinct. And it's crazy how you think creating something, you think you're creating something random, but then you find out what your subconscious was kind of telling you in hindsight after you've finished the process. Sometimes even years later, you can look back on your artwork and understand like your state of mind better at that place in time. Sort of like you're sending messages to your future self. I notice people always tell me that they're not creative, but the way I see it is that creativity is like a muscle, and it just gets stronger the more you stretch it. And what I wanted to do with this project was rely on that creative muscle memory in a way, and just see what comes up onto the page when I just don't think about it too much and let my subconscious just take the lead. And when things go well, it's like I'm just like projecting onto the page like a live stream of thoughts. And I see it similar to how like jazz musicians improvise or like rap artists like freestyle. It's definitely a stage where you can't really second guess yourself. You just have to put out whatever's coming to mind, because even if you end up with a really good idea, it's easy to forget that it took like 15 like terrible ideas to get there. Those first drawings tell the story of how you ended up and like give context to the last one, so the end result is kind of like this conversation and leads the viewer like through. It's like kind of like a story, but I guess a bit more erratic. Even though my early sketches are like less than perfect, I feel like they the early sketches often like capture like the feeling of movement in like a really authentic way that's hard to like replicate when you try and do it again and think too much. And this project kind of taps into why that is. And I noticed that with a lot of artists, like those early sketches just have like a certain like vulnerability about them. And I think it's because it's just uninhabited while doing it, like knowing no one's ever going to see them. And I feel like something's lost in that process when they're all polished and defined and everything. In this project I kind of wondered what a balance between that finished refined look and those early sketches would look like. At this point in the process, you have to temporarily like break your mind and just let go of logic. When I started the first piece for this series, I kind of felt like I was always in competition with myself, and everything I did had to be better than the last thing. And I had this kind of fear of repeating myself and just doing watered down versions of things that I'd already done. But now I feel like a student, like a child again, and I just have so much more to learn. My only fear is just my tendency to be a slow learner, basically.